You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean. Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Nashville After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Nashville After Show.
Oh, yeah.
Like it.
We do have a theme song.
Yay.
Love it.
Good stuff, Marissa.
This is some good old country music right there.
All right. Hey, guys, Bing is for doing, and we're here doing the AFTERBUZZ show for Nashville.
Yeah.
It is late night, ladies' night here at AFTERBUZZ tonight. And we have episode 2 called I Can't Help It If I'm Still in Love with You. And tonight we have Lauren back, who's been on shooting commercials, so she's here with us today.
I made it back. I'm so excited to be here. Yay.
And we also have...
Got a clap for you there. I'm Whitney Lane. Glad to be back.
And I'm Jenifer Golden. Love Ladies Night.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm JJ Jurgens. All right, so let's start talking about tonight's episode.
Lots of stuff, as usual. Oh, the drama.
This campaign is starting to get serious. And they were talking about the vulnerability test, and I don't know if anybody had heard about that before, but they explained what that is, which was divulging all of your deepest, darkest secrets before the campaign, so you are on an even playing field and you kind of squash the rumors from the start.
Totally makes sense. I mean, probably President Obama, Mitt Romney, they out there doing these little vulnerability tests right now because, I mean, if something comes out, that could just ruin the whole thing.
Yeah, it's full disclosure.
Might as well do it and let them cover it up.
And they kind of said that when they were asking him questions, when they were asking, what is the name, the husband's name? I'm sorry. Teddy. They were explaining to him, you better just be honest with us now because it helps protect you in the end. But you can see the hesitance there with, when Rayna was in there and when Teddy was in there, just like not wanting to be that quote unquote vulnerable. It's hard to admit everything, but it's like you do it then, get it out because they can help kind of block the path.
Or they'll find it.
Yeah. Well, and like she's said, she's tried to always be a private person, and then I think that's hard in this day and age, and especially if your husband decides to run for office, your
and you're in
private
the public,
life
in the public eye like she is.
Well, Teddy, he was getting a little defensive over that whole Cumberland deal.
Yeah.
You can kind of see, like, these people are here to help him, and he didn't take it that way. He was going back like, I'm not going to talk about this, and he kind of went back at them, but obviously, which we saw later on, he was burning some papers in a fire. Something is kind of not disclosed from that whole situation.
The truth always comes out, though. It does, and he may not want to say it then, or he may have pushed it so far down he's not used to talking about it, but it will come out.
Yeah. Any ideas of what you think happened? Yet?
It's early. It's early. It is, but he lost a lot of money. What is $75 million deal? Like something had to have gone down to where it kind of, it was his demise. Like he doesn't do anything. He's a stay-at-home dad now, so something had to ruin
Maybe it
his
was
career.
Like a Bernie Madoff thing or something, like he took some people's money, or because they do mention that, like you said, that he lost a lot of other people's money too. So, or other people lost money. I don't know if it was because of him or through him, but
maybe that'll come out.
Maybe that's what we'll find out.
But also, do we think that his name is symbolic in any way? I feel like our viewers and our listeners may also think something like that, like Teddy.
What, like Teddy Roosevelt? Oh.
I don't know, because Rayna's name, if you spell it differently, means queen. So she's the queen of Nashville.
Country.
I think that a lot of the names are definitely symbolic.
I wouldn't doubt it. Juliette.
Like the young ingenue.
Good.
Deacon, unclear, but we'll look into that.
Deacon, like a beacon of light towards her love.
Right. I like it.
I don't know.
Good one.
I was stretching. I'm just.
Well,
I like it.
Speaking of a light toward our love, we actually this kind of tapped into our prediction from last week that we think that Deacon is the father of her one of her daughters.
Rayna's daughter.
And they sort of
So
touched on that during the vulnerability scenario and started prying and
then she
relieving
walked
the
away.
witness, right? They said, tell us about your relationship with Deacon. And she, well, first of all, 11 years they were together.
Thank goodness we found out, because you know there was so much history there. I mean, they've sung together forever, and then finally we know 11 years.
Yeah.
That's a lot of history. You can't.
In the vulnerability test, they even said to Rayna, so you dated Deacon, and she was like, well, I'd call it a lot more than dating, or whatever word they used, because I mean, they were very, very serious. And then they sort of touched on the fact that while he was in rehab, was she just dating her current husband, Teddy? And she was like, I don't want to talk about this anymore.
That's when she got up. But another cool thing that he was in, I mean, not cool, but we found out something we said last week was that he had an alcohol problem. Could have been way more than that, because she said if she hadn't put him in rehab, he would have died.
And that she paid for the rehab was another.
Lots of,
A lot of love, I would say, is between the two of them. And they sort of hint at that in everything that they do. You can see and feel the love, regardless of if it's romantic or friendship. They have a connection that nobody else has on the show.
Yes.
Which we're very excited to see how that unfolds, but we'll talk about that later.
It's one of those relationships that keeps the viewers like wanting more all the time. Like, are they or aren't they? Are they or aren't they? And they're gonna. I feel like this is an early prediction, but they got to dangle that thing a lot longer than just letting it happen right now.
Oh, yeah.
They got to stretch that puppy out.
which I think we'll see, because obviously he's with Juliette right now anyway. So
Well, is he with her, or is he just?
well,
Well, we
Sleeping
see
over.
from the trailer for next week that he's in bed with her.
Well,
again,
he
already
and,
has
like,
been.
Yeah.
But
Still.
that's not like they're not like boyfriend girlfriend.
No.
well, I wouldn't say that, but they're still together right now.
Let's talk
doing
about him
something.
Yeah.
skinny dipping with her tonight.
Hey.
What's that
know.
about?
Going back to the vulnerability situation, it was interesting how they brought up, like, when Teddy was talking to Rayna about thank you for doing this, and you know, if you support me, I support you going on tour with Deacon. And like, that's a kiss of death, my friend.
Big twist, though, which we didn't know what Rayna was going to do after she walked out on her meeting with her label. Come to find out, good idea. She should go on tour with Deacon. They never really, get back to their old roots. Maybe that'll bring some more fire under her artistry.
I think it was a fabulous idea for, what, I don't know, just to get their juices flowing again. And like, obviously that's what got everybody to fall in love with them from the beginning.
Right.
And then as we see later in the episode, they get on stage and it is clear that there's a connection that people want to watch. People want to see that. It's like Tim McGraw and Faith Hill. Like, everyone wants to see them sing together because they're married and they're in love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like everyone wants that. So
It takes it to a whole different level, I
Right.
think, when you watch that.
yeah, for sure.
Well, as we said, we predict that something's going to go crazy with Teddy. He's going to become the puppet of Lamar, just like Lamar was saying. Somebody with secrets is easier to control.
Yeah.
And as true as that is, it's also sad that that's like his father-in-law talking about him that way, and his daughter's husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just for a baseball
Yeah.
stadium. Get a life.
Right.
Well, what you found out, though, you saw him talking to Coleman and how it kind of went down. He's like, don't mess with me. You can see that how kind of cruel of a guy he is. If he's really like taught Coleman a lot, he's been with him for 10 years, helping him with this whole race and stuff like that. And now all of a sudden he's like, forget you. Got to go find somebody else that will listen to my every want and need.
And Coleman even said, he's like, what, if somebody doesn't say what you want to hear, you're going to like stomp all over them.
Yeah.
And he's like, precisely.
Yeah, he had a great line when Coleman said that loyalty is a one-way street with you. And, this is a guy that, he's just totally turning his back on him just to get what's best for him.
He's out
He says,
for his-
don't mess with me.
Yeah, he's out for himself. That's obvious. They make that an obvious character flaw and characteristic about him from the beginning. It's not like they're trying to pull the wool over your eyes. This guy's nice, trying to help. From the get-go, everyone's watched this character just be a total ass.
At least to the people that know him the best. I don't know that outside people would think that, because I'm sure he's a schmoozer. He can get away with it. He's the
Charming.
Even his voice is like villainous.
And his eye, when he like does his little eye contact with people, and it just looks so hateful, so mean.
So filled with
There's
hate.
something in his name too, because I'm sorry, he should be
Lamar?
a big black man.
That's what that's just a weird name.
Lamar.
I would not have. No.
I will look into that too.
What does Lamar mean?
I will find out about these names, because I think there's something to them.
Yeah, Lamar's a odd name choice for him, but
Yeah, it never doesn't seem to fit at all.
And where did James come from? Because his last name is not James, and her husband's last name is not James either.
Yeah.
Maybe that's her stage name.
Stage name.
Really.
People do
Oh
that.
yeah, Rayna
these days.
James. I don't know. Interesting.
Well, and then you saw when she came to that big event they were having, and you can see the tension between her dad. She was just like, I might not keep showing up for these campaign functions, maybe I just will stop coming. I feel like he would even manipulate to where he'd pull her back in somehow by shedding some of her secrets.
Oh, for sure. Well, he said he was going to do that
he's
anyway.
so hateful.
That's actually a very good call. That might be a good prediction that maybe he will be the one that will leak some stuff to the press about
I would not doubt that for
past.
a second. To get more rape people, yeah.
They're definitely alluding to that with that little comment that he made in the pilot where they were, talking about, he was saying that you need to be by your husband's side when he does his speech tonight, and you're lucky that he stood by you all this time, and alluded to the whole Maddie thing, maybe possibly not being his child. So, I mean, he obviously has the goods. It's her dad, and he's willing to, use them against her.
Which is awful, but you saw part of her character, which I liked, was when she went and kind of reached out to Coleman and was like, I'm sorry I couldn't show up for that.
Yeah.
And he understood. It's like they have a good relationship. She's not trying to be, that mean person behind it. They all know the dad's behind this. He's the crappy guy.
And also, it besides that, it is her husband. And if he was having a speech on that night, even though she, prior to all of that, said that she would sing for him or whatever, she can't not be by her husband's side. He would have to understand that, and because they're friends, that he would know that anyway. But
I'm glad she reached out. I thought that
I really
was
like
nice.
Coleman's character too, because he even said, he's like, well, you know what your dad does to family.
Yeah, he seems like a strong-willed man. I don't think he's going to go down without a fight, which is good.
Which is good. I'm kind of excited to see, only because politics are happening right now for us, to see this happen and unfold on screen and be a little bit dirtier of a fight than what we actually have to deal with, thank God. But
they're getting dirty. And you know what I thought was great about that when Rayna's dad pulled her aside, or when they were talking at that function, and she said, like you were talking about, Whitney, I don't think I'm going to be able to keep coming to these if you keep doing this. But I love that she said it with a huge smile on her face the whole time, and then kissed him on the cheek and walked away, because it's all about the smoke and mirrors. It's all about the image that you're putting out. She had to play nice, like, this is my daddy and we're happy. And she just, being in the public eye, being a famous country singer, she knows all about that. I just love that they added that little detail in there. I thought that was nice.
I think the characters are great in the sense that we were talking about how we all hate, Hayden's character, but it's perfect because you just hate her so much, like
she's doing her job.
Yeah, yeah.
And the writers did a great job of getting us to hate her.
Yeah. So if it was somebody that we were like middle of the road with, it'd be like, oh, well, maybe they should be. It's so clear cut. But what's also nice is you have the people with the moral ground, like Rayna and Coleman, but they're also not just pushovers, which is nice to see. Like you said, they will stand up and fight or say it with a smile, but they have the ethics and the values. So it's really interesting to see that battle of the ethics versus the.
It will be when it becomes to like Rayna versus Juliette, I think, because we'll see if she still keeps that moral high ground or not. But at least in the public eye, I could see
Rayna
that.
has so far, though, with all the jabs, like when Juliette was like, what did she say? Oh,
she
that
had a
little
good one.
tour of yours. That's so cute. And then Rayna responded with, yeah.
It's great to get back to the real music, to playing the real music.
People will come out to see some actual music.
The thing about Rayna, the difference between Rayna and Juliette's character is that maybe it's, Rayna is just more seasoned and more mature, but she's always diplomatic about what she's saying. It never comes out like snarky and rude and like little mean girl. But Hayden's character is younger. Juliette's this young girl, and she's obviously a diva. She's constantly telling people off and fire him and get out and all, so she's clearly going to be that girl who makes those snarky comments. And that's the big difference between those two, is that one is very diplomatic and nice and gracious, and the other one is just like, screw you all. I'm here for me, and I'm sleeping my way to the top.
Which is what we talked about last week, about Rayna kind of coming off as like, she's kind of her mom's age, Juliette's mom's age. And we got an email, too, from Bailey, who was commenting on if maybe Rayna will kind of take that motherly figure. Because we'll see, I think we'll see Hayden's character develop, because her mom's going to come in. She can't always be that cruel girl all the time. You'll see her emotions. But to see if Rayna actually does kind of come out as that mother figure and kind of feels for her a little.
They can't keep this like fighting relationship going the whole time.
Yeah, the dynamic's going to have to change.
Something's going to have to change, and because we're seeing Hayden's character really get a little vulnerable, and we're seeing the softer side with her mom and that absence of that presence in her life, for sure, that's like obvious possibility.
I definitely think it will come out with the mom, because if we know that Rayna paid for Deacon to go to rehab, clearly I think that will be the point that she feels some sort of sympathy for.
Maybe she'll pay for her
Juliette.
mom's
That's
rehab.
what I wonder. Well, I mean, she has
Juliette
money,
could
but
do it,
I think she might help her through getting her mom to go to rehab and clean up.
Or we had also talked about last week the fact that Juliette probably just doesn't like women because of her mom, and that doesn't like Rayna because it is her mom's age. She is her mom's age, and her mom is a fan of her. So anybody her mom likes, she probably hates.
Right.
So we'll see probably them come to a head. Well, I have no
Which
idea
is,
what's
I
gonna
wonder
happen.
why we see her in such disgust, like singing the words to Rayna's songs. You know what I mean? Like, it might not just be the jealousy about her and Deacon. It might be a little more deeply rooted, like, this reminds her of a time with her mom. She's singing the words, but she's doing it like through tears almost when she was
Right.
at the
It's
Bluebird.
her mother's
Cafe.
music.
It's her mother's music, yeah.
What she grew up listening to, so there's got to be some
It's
sort
got to
of
be
connection
what
there.
inspired her too.
Right. Also, we see, since we'll be talking about her soon, we see her recording songs and fighting back and pushing back against her representation, saying, I don't want to keep singing these pop songs. I don't want to keep being the singer for the little girls. I want to sing real country music. And I think that when she heard that song, it was probably like, this is what I really want to be doing. Yeah. This is where I should be. I shouldn't be singing this stuff I'm saying. This is why I want Deacon in my band, because I want to sing the real stuff. I have more to me. I'm not just this cookie cutter blonde chick that,
But there have to be other Deacons. Like, don't go after Raina's Deacon.
And he's
There's
too old for
something
your
else
band,
there.
like
Yeah,
that.
it's weird. I don't like it. Yeah, I
Finders
hate it.
keepers.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to discussing Juliette for a lot. But speaking of listening to things, you guys can go to iTunes and download our podcast and listen to us all day long when you're at work. We have so many different podcasts for AfterBuzz TV here, and go on there, tell us what you like, what you don't like. We've loved the people that have commented so far, and I'm going to just read a couple that we, first of all, Jenifer got a "You are fine."
Thank you.
Jenifer Golden is fine. So
appreciate
thank
that.
you, Mr. Funny Manist.
Woo!
Let's see. Let's see.
I love that. You are fine.
Yeah, it was great.
You are fine, girl.
And somebody else said, "And how?" So there's so many ways you're, fine.
Look at that.
We got Mr. Funny Man also said the blonde girl sounds the best.
Oh,
That's
that's
a country accent right
Yeah,
there.
you
huh?
sound like you belong in Nashville. Yeah, and we have another special one where we actually have the clip that somebody sent us that we're going to show at the end of the show tonight. So anyway, yeah, we definitely read your comments. We love to hear what you have to say, and it helps us put on a better show for you guys.
And speaking of iTunes, we did get some emails as well about the music, because you can always go to iTunes now, download the music from Nashville. And Epperly emailed us about why one of the songs, what was it called? Boys and Buses, wasn't on iTunes. I tried to do some research for you. Most other songs do go up right after. I'm thinking that maybe that song's not up just because it was a recorded version right then. She was doing her auto-tune little clip. So maybe when she does sing it for the real time, on concert or something like that, it'll come up.
It was a
but
good
we'll keep
song.
looking. Yeah, it
She
was
has
a good
some
one.
really good songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
That's
God they're
catchy.
all-
Yeah,
right.
I
It's
like it.
Her character, awful. Her songs, amazing.
People definitely love them. I mean, they've already have the new ones up tonight from the show, so
Oh, they were great
I've already
tonight.
downloaded them. So
Share.
Love it.
Well, let's keep talking about Juliette.
yeah, might as
we all
well
start-
segue
yeah.
into her.
Her. That hooker hoe. How great when she was talking to her producer saying, well, I'm doing my part with Deacon. You do yours.
I loved that.
Well, your part is sleeping with him.
Yeah.
It can only be you out of all of these people
Let's
here.
be real, though. I mean, in all reality, that crap happens all the time. I mean, I don't know, because none of us are in on the casting couch with Sharon Stone or whoever all the rumors are about, but you hear rumors all the time in the acting world, in the music industry. Oh, she slept her way to the top. Oh, he did whatever. I mean, it's probably an accurate representation of at least of what we hear, rumor-wise,
Someone has done
gossip-wise.
that. Yes.
I would say more like a lot of people
Yes.
have probably done that. I don't know about someone sounds so singular there, Jenifer. I don't know. But I mean, I think it's, hey, it works clearly, and she obviously her character has the talent to back it up, but sometimes you just need that extra edge, and she definitely lays it out there for everyone.
But what's so ironic is that she wants to be seen as this like real country singer with soul to her and can write these songs that come from the depth of her being, and then she sleeps with people. Like, pick a side, my friend. You can only be taken seriously if you are serious.
Well, I have to interject for a second again, too, because I feel like that she's got some major insecurities like we all do. And if she thinks, she comes off like she thinks she's so great and she's in charge and I'm firing you and get out of here and I'm the best, whatever. That's obviously when people act that way, it's to cover up something more deep, an insecurity or something you feel really self-conscious about. So, it's obviously acting out. And
I can only wonder what she learned from her mom.
Right. But she's doing a good job of kind of hitting that nerve for Deacon, because she's like, what, can't you be adventurous anymore? Like those kinds of things that, he was different in the past. She's kind of getting him back to his old self. He's feeling like he's reliving what he lived with Rayna at this point.
Yeah, I would like that to be a little stronger for me, because I feel like her comments, like really kind of getting him to remember that or recall those days are like few and far between, and I just really see nastiness from her. So right now I'm like, really, Deacon? Like, what is it that, like, why? Other than just
young.
like,
he's a dude and she's young and she wants to F him, and he's like, okay. How many guys are going to say no to that?
And he loves Rayna and can't have her, and he has to go on tour with Rayna. So he's like, you know what? If I'm going to do this and be loyal, I'm going to also do this because this is fun.
Still, I'm rooting for Deacon to be that other good guy.
I know, we're both trying to.
Look, I think
we don't want to believe it. Come on, buddy.
Hold on. I think he is a good guy, but he's a dude. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I'm speaking for the male population like I'm one of them, like I know, but he is a good guy.
Like,
but
he's a dude
got
like
a girl.
me.
He's got a really hot young girl throwing herself on him. He's single. Why can't he do what he wants?
Right.
He is a good guy. I believe.
But pick somebody that's like a better person.
I would
doesn't
be
wanna marry
fine.
her.
I would be fine if he was boning Scarlett. Okay, fine.
Okay.
but the fact
That's also
that
his
she's
niece.
cute. Well,
Hi.
okay. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't be fine with that.
Genealogy,
Good
friend.
point. Forgot about that key point. But somebody else like that who was more like Rayna when she was younger. I think the fact that Juliette is so nasty, I just feel like I want to
we all
have like
hate her,
higher
that's why.
expectations for her.
I must say,
He doesn't want to marry her yet. Thank God.
I just think it would be very unrealistic if he was like, hold on, this feels wrong. We shouldn't be doing this.
Well, he does a little bit, though. You see
That's what I'm
him
saying.
questioning it,
He
so you can
is
tell
a good, He is a good guy, but when it comes down to it, he's single. He's going to do what he wants. It would be.
She's throwing herself at him. It's easy for him.
The guys watching the show, I'm sure the male audience members that watch the
Support
show
this.
are like, dude, what are you doing? Go for it.
Right.
Stop it. So
He made one comment. He's like, Deacon, you're a dead man. So
yeah.
he has some moral compass, but it's just fun for him at this point. Let him live.
Yeah.
I do want to give her a positive comment, though. She can write, and we saw that
sing.
come out. She was very good. I thought the words that she came out with, it sounded like a good song, something I would definitely buy.
Yeah. And I think that Hayden Panettiere has a great voice.
I agree with that
does.
one. Yeah.
I'm like,
Great songs.
I'm shocked. I think she's like a triple threat. She can dance, she can sing, she can act. Like,
She actually recorded an album, like in the past. She didn't know when she was finding herself, is what she said, kind of finding herself in this industry. She recorded an album, and she said if she ever went back, it'd definitely be country all the way. So
What
it's
was
kind of
it?
working out. It was kind of just all kinds of different stuff. Yeah, I think some country, some pop. She's kind of just experimenting. But if she went back to singing, it'd be country. And now look at her. She's doing really well.
her voice sounds great with that country feel to it.
Yeah, the twang.
I like
bit of a
it.
twang.
I would download those
great.
songs. I would.
They stay in your mind like long after the episode.
They're catchy and they're like soulful. You're like, oh, that's great lyrics.
Yeah, I really relate to that, Hayden. I mean, Juliette.
What do we think, though? Obviously prediction, but like, she's really going after Deacon, to be on her tour. And he's not the only guitarist and songwriter out there, which is so odd. It seems like a vendetta against Rayna.
There has to be another reason.
He
There
also
has to
now
be.
has a $50,000 guitar that she gave him.
Which they made sure to tell him to insure right away. That was so weird. Of course he would insure it.
Wait, was it Tammy Wynette's? Is that who they said it was?
The land was Tammy Wynette.
Yeah, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
Putting a little legend name dropping in there.
Tammy Wynette. I think, I think there's definitely definitely something behind her, like, urgency to get Deacon on her tour, because it just doesn't seem like enough of a reason to drive that character to just keep doing malicious things and, like, putting herself out there and sleeping with him and, like, going against her people who work for her and going against Rayna. I mean, she's really, like, just to get this guy on the there's something behind it, because it's not enough to drive a character through a story. Just from the writing standpoint, it's not. I mean,
well, other than the fact that Deacon and Rayna's songs were like the best. I mean, she was like she's like the highest up there for her like to achieve towards. So I mean, maybe she just is clearly trying to go out and knock her off her throne, and then thinks that she can take over her throne if she then gets Deacon, who is the best songwriter, on her
much
team.
Older.
And then,
it's just such a weird fit. You know, like, I feel like she would go after someone that's
current.
Yeah,
agree, but his songs are clearly like fantastic.
Right.
He's
so
like, what?
But her songs are also fantastic. So it's weird that she's hunting after this guy where she's already so successful.
She's insecure.
Right.
I don't think she believes that her songs are as fantastic as they are, or as you think they are. She acts this boastful behavior because she is clearly feeling a little bit insecure inside. I don't know. I feel like, you're probably right, JJ, that is a good reason. He's like this amazing writer, songwriter, singer, but I feel like there's something behind it. There's more than that.
Like, maybe to get back at her mom, because her mom loves him. I don't know. I'm stretching it, but
there's something.
There is something, because you don't have an obsession like that.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it could be multiple things. I mean, he's known as the best songwriter in Nashville. You know, like, he's in Rayna's band. It's also, you see that she's trying to get away from that poppy stuff. She hated the video. She wants to get back to that, what she was writing with him. Like, that's kind of what her feel is. I mean, he can kind of serve that for her, because she doesn't really have anybody else right now. I mean, there are up-and-comers, Scarlett and Gunnar, who I'm sure we'll talk about in a bit, but, you know.
We shall see.
We shall.
It'll unravel.
It will.
I hope that we maybe like her character, though, at some point.
We might
Maybe a
feel
little.
for her character. I don't know if we're going to like her.
Like, I feel like the hatred I have for her, though, is, like, unhealthy for me. Like, I'm, like, mad at someone, but it's really just her character.
You're like,
I leave a little tense.
Yeah.
I'm mad at her and Lamar. Like, you guys go off into the sunset together if you need somewhere else.
You are manifesting other angers through them.
I am, and you have to drive home with me. Yay!
Yay! No, I think that she's doing a good job. Hayden is doing a great job of making us not like her, because I think that's exactly what she's supposed to be doing.
But she definitely turns on the charm when she needs to.
Oh yeah.
But you're right. Every time she comes on the screen, it's like, what is she gonna
Now
do
what?
I hiss at her. I'm like,
Yeah.
Now what's she gonna do? But I honestly think that they're going to show us something else. They can't just, again, like, from the character standpoint, it's not enough to just have her be that, like, bratty little girl all the time.
She has to have an arc of some kind.
And I think we're gonna see, as much as they want us to hate her, we have to relate to her somehow, and that's gonna be through the mom and through things like that once we start discovering what's all
it'll
underneath
unfold. When she started to sing the songs and kind of tear up when Rayna and Deacon were singing, which I love that when Wally was there and he, like, pointed over to Scarlett and Gunnar, was like, you could be these two one day.
Yeah.
And she finally agreed, or Scarlett finally agreed to do it. Because that's a whole different storyline right there.
Yeah.
And what about her face when she thought Deacon was going to call her up to the stage because he had a special guest to sing with them?
That's right.
And then
Juliette thought it was going to be her.
She was like smiling, getting ready to stand up. I was worried, actually. I was like, no. And then it was Rayna. I was like,
I knew. I knew.
You
I
did
was like,
know.
He's going to say Rayna.
I remembered from the trailer last week. I'm like, oh, wait, we saw them singing together. It's got to be her.
See? Shows you. I get too caught up and I don't remember anything
Detective Jurgens over here.
Seriously, she remembers every single detail. It's crazy.
Love it.
It's amazing, though. Thank you for that, because I remember none of it.
Well, should we talk about Scarlett and Gunnar? I feel like that's kind of fun. And Avery, that whole situation.
Oh, yes. That really upset me, but it happens so often where you sacrifice some part of you for your relationship, which could very well end the next day and you have no idea and you look back and regret it. But I love that Gunnar sat there and said to her, but you don't think he'd support you? And she's like, oh, no, he'd support me with anything I want to do. Well, then
it's
hello.
Yeah.
What are you
Your
doing?
answer is there.
I think it's more just feeling a little bit bad too about
Her
making it, and it doesn't really seem. Look, she wasn't trying. She's writing poems to herself. These are not meant to be songs. She's very shy about it. She's never even sang into a mic. And here her boyfriend is pounding the pavement, like really trying to make it, and he's not. So I think it's also partially that she just feels guilty. Like she's not even trying.
Did you hear his lyrics? Yikes.
Yeah.
Something about barbed wire over and over again.
I think that's
and crown jewels
on purpose, obviously.
Right. Yeah. No, I think you're totally right, and I think she feels guilty because it could have been her and Avery, singing, but it's not. So it's
Gunnar,
gonna
the other Deacon,
the Deacon Jr.,
the mini Deacon and Rayna,
which I like. I'm excited to see it because they're very good together.
They are. They're cute.
I did think when she told Avery, because it was after his show, when the people were like, "Oh, you and your boyfriend, I saw you singing at the Bluebird Cafe." It's like, no, this is my boyfriend right here. But he didn't. I was wondering if he was going to get kind of like mad and angry and kind of yell at her about it, but he didn't do that. He said congratulations. You can tell he was kind of turned off by it, but I don't know that it was just her herself thinking that, maybe I shouldn't do this because I feel a little guilty.
I think it's her inner. She seems like a good girl, like a nice, wholesome girl, and I think she's just having a problem feeling bad about it because she doesn't want to hurt his feelings.
But I also think that he might have been seeing the lady who said that she's the girl that was standing there and was like, "I saw you two perform, you and your boyfriend, or whatever." And when she was like, "No, that's my boyfriend," she looked like
Well, she kept saying how hot he was. I'm sure Avery's going to be the stud of Nashville, and we're going to see that happen as well.
Oh, you think?
No, I don't think so at all.
That's what he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be the player.
Yeah. Well, no, I think like, he's maybe a player, but I don't think he's going to be like successful in the music business.
Oh, I thought that's what you meant by stud of Nashville.
So did I.
Oh, you meant like just the ladies'
just the ladies' man. Yeah.
I do think he's going to get jealous and start doing his thing.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of him in real life, he's a singer, and if you join, because today I was following everybody on Twitter, so I signed up to follow him, and then he sends you like a free song you can download. So anybody who wants to follow him,
what a nice treat. What a gift.
That's nice.
A special bonus.
Yay.
What can I send to people who tweet me?
I will send you a retweet.
I'm excited to see it all develop for sure. I think they're going to be great together.
That's a nice B plot to the story. I mean, it's a very. It sounds weird to say the B plot because it seems like such a prevalent storyline to follow as well, but it is, and I like that it's kind of mirroring what we maybe wish that we could see between Rayna and Deacon, but we can't, so we can only live through what we hear people say, but when we see them together, we get to watch what we think those characters might have been like, and I think I love the way all these stories weave together so tight. This is good writing to me, and I think I'm a huge fan of Glee, or I was. I don't watch it as much anymore, but I love that these songs just come out very naturally, in the storyline, and they're all originally written, and they all have an underlying meaning too, which I think is so. I love that.
It fits perfectly.
I mean, I think this is kind of like a brilliant show.
Brilliant.
Definitely.
I'm
kind of in love with it.
I'm hooked.
I'm kind of shocked as well that I love it as much as I do. I was interested in seeing it, and I wanted to be a part of this, talking about it, because I just feel like there's just so much to go on, but I am kind of obsessed.
We love Wednesdays.
I love it.
We love Wednesdays.
Oh my God. So good.
But so speaking of Rayna and Deacon, I was thinking maybe Waddy is having them record these songs, Scarlett and Gunnar, so he can then have new, fresh songs for Rayna and Deacon.
Oh.
Because, who are these two schmoes?
Yeah, but you don't
He
think
still has to have some new people coming in, though.
he needs
too.
fresh blood?
Yeah.
He does. I mean, he may have them just be the new Rayna and Deacon and do that simultaneously, or get fresh stuff because they can't write about love anymore.
Well, I think you're right. I thought that.
Well, they could write about love. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
we did see that
last week when they sang at the end. That's how I took it. He was saying, this is a new song. I'm going to have you and Deacon record together.
I took it like that too.
I think it could go either way.
Yeah. You're right.
Because somebody else is writing now for what's her? I already forgot.
Juliette.
Her. And they need to find some fresh stuff for Rayna. Rayna even said, what happened to all those songs you brought me? And they're like, well, they got taken. Sorry.
Yeah.
That could be good. I also think, though, if they just sat down, Deacon and her could come up with some other stuff, because they're...
Well, they're too afraid to do that, though. They're not going to. I mean, they got on the stage with the Bluebird, and they sang, and you see from the get-go that Deacon is just laser beam focus on her. She's, kind of playing into it, singing the song, putting it on the show, but at the end, you see her turn, And like, it's almost like we said when we're watching it, like you watch her realize in that moment that she is still in love with him. And he has clearly been in love with her the entire time. He's never stopped loving her. So of course he's going to go do his own thing. She's married with kids. He's going to go off with Juliette, because why the hell not? But I feel like then they got in the car after and they're like,
She wishes she didn't do it.
why did we sing that song? And she's just like, then goes home to her husband, says, I love you, but she looks a little empty as she's saying it. I mean,
I think she wants to play that part and wants to believe that she loves her husband. And if she, you know, walks the walk, maybe she'll talk the talk. You know, when they say if you smile, it'll make you happy. I think she's just trying to be in love with her husband.
And in all reality, I'm sure she does love her husband.
She's not in love with him, but she loves him.
I mean, what happened between her and Deacon was clearly derailed by his substance abuse.
Exactly.
It wasn't because they didn't work out. It's because he got ripped away from her.
Right.
And they, we think, have a child together. And I think we're all about to see what's going to go down. I like that tension between them.
I do
But
too.
I'm afraid they really need to stretch that out. I'm afraid that they're not going to be able to do
I
that.
don't know.
I think
We
they
saw him
will.
with
I think
Juliette next week. I think it'll stretch out, and it's going to make me hate Juliette even more.
And he may not even go on tour because he said in the trailer, you know, well, then let me go.
Yeah, I think it's actually perfect the way I think they are stretching it out. Like, I think the writing, her line was perfect. Like, I wish we wouldn't have sang that song. She didn't say, I'm still in love with you. Like, she didn't go in the car and then come out with that. So you could just kind of see that that's what she was, what she was saying and thinking was that I'm still in love with this guy. And
he said,
now
what
I'm
do we
going
do
to
now?
do. Yeah.
Okay,
And it's
but
like,
I completely agree, and I'm sure they can stretch it out because the writing's great. But I do have to say this: we're in episode 2, and we're already seeing this. It's like,
It's good. They got a lot left for us, I think.
They made Dawson and Joey wait till like the 5th season before they even kiss.
That's true. Well, maybe they're going to hate each other and then they're going to I don't know.
I mean, clearly they're going to stretch it out. I'm just nervous. I like it so much. I want it to be stretched out, and obviously they're going to because it makes you want to watch.
Well, what are their 13?
Their first loves. There's
13
a lot
episodes?
more to unravel that we'll see.
Oh, yeah. We'll find out more about their history. This child, poor child.
Maybe poor child. I mean, she's living a good life right now.
know,
We'll see
right?
what happens.
But
It's
she doesn't-
Deacon,
or maybe
it's
poor
either Deacon or
Deacon.
Teddy. I think
Right.
it could be.
because if Deacon doesn't know clearly, you know, and then when he finds out.
Right.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
gonna be-
And then the husband and Deacon, it's going to get great.
Love it.
We could be completely off, but I think we might have.
We haven't been so far, though.
I know.
You're right. We've been dead on.
We've been pretty
We're gonna
good.
keep our
We got it.
streak.
Yeah.
I think we get a prize if we're right every time.
We should, and we are not off. We're on. We're on.
We're on.
We're on.
We will win.
We're on
It's
it.
not a competition. Who are we competing with? The show?
I don't care. I just don't like to lose in any
We are winning the prediction war.
Yeah.
winning.
Well, speaking of other great shows, here at AfterBuzz this fall, we have a huge fall lineup. We have all your favorite shows here. So whatever you're a fan of, Dexter, Sons of Anarchy, what other shows do you guys
Grey's
want?
Anatomy.
Yeah.
Heart of Dixie. It's another fun country show.
I like the reality ones like America's Next Top Model and Project Runway, which you can see me host. I love those ones.
Nice. So go on to AfterBuzzTV.com. You can download and watch them, any show that you'd like.
Love it.
Some good ones. I think this one is like number 1, but guys, if you're listening or watching, please help us get to number 1 on the podcast.
Do it.
That'd be
Help
really-
us win.
Yeah, download, like us.
We are winners. Wednesday winners.
Wednesday. Look at we have so much alliteration with Wednesday.
Love it.
You really can just take that to the next
We
level,
could.
can't you?
Could. Totally could.
All right. Well,
Should we get into
all right,
some news
let's-
and gossip?
Yeah.
Or
I think we
is there anything else?
AfterBuzz TV News.
So ratings news, at least. Nashville debuted at number 1 in its time slot as like the new drama, and it had the right?
Number 1.
Because it went up against NBC Chicago Fire, if you had seen those previews.
was good,
Lots
too.
of hot men, but Nashville was better. And it actually was the biggest debut since Once Upon a Time.
Ooh.
So they got like 8.9 million viewers.
Nice.
What I think will be interesting is comparing it tonight to American Horror Story, Connie Britton's other show that she was on last season. Wonder how that kind of stacks up. So we'll see that for next week.
right. That'll be interesting.
Should
We
be
will
good
win.
stuff. Some entertainment news. Connie Britton's going to be in a new movie. If you've heard of it, called The To-Do List. It's like kind of one of those Valentine's Day type movies with lots of big stars, coming on. And that's coming out, I think, on Valentine's Day. So it should be a fun one to watch.
Love that.
See her kind of in a different light, you know?
Right.
She's on
see what
fire.
She's the best.
She is.
She's really making a comeback.
She is. So some more stuff. Hayden Panettiere, she's just kind of everywhere. She was was on Good Morning America promoting the show. She also said that working on TV is like voting for a politician. Because she said you kind of like have to go into this and think you might be there for the next few years, up to however long the series lasts. So you kind of have to really agree with whatever show it is you're gonna be on.
That's a good point.
Interesting.
Yeah, considering it kind of follows one of the storylines about politicians.
That's a positive outlook because it's like you never know if the show's going to last 4 years.
It's
It could
true.
We're in an election year right now, too, so it's kind of mirroring life, right?
It really is. And another fun thing about the show, Sam Palladio and Claire Bowen, they're the ones that play Scarlett and Gunnar. They didn't know each other at all before they went into practice singing this. They literally met in the lobby of the hotel they were going to practice, or the business they were going to practice. But of course it fit very well and they were loving it. But a cool thing for this episode is they actually did a song. They recorded it in Ben Folds' recording studio. So they're really kind of going all over Nashville and kind of really experiencing a lot of cool stuff.
I love that.
And one gossip news that I'm going to share with you, that Hayden just went on a date with her boyfriend, Scotty McKnight, who's a football player. She went on a double date with Eva Longoria and her boyfriend, Mark Sanchez. To Broadway show, The Newsies.
Wow, how cultured.
Isn't that funny? Apparently they were the first ones to do a standing ovation. So double date.
Cute. Very cute.
Good stuff.
That is very good. Nice news and gossip.
Yeah.
I think we also have a clip for you today that one of our fans, Baxy24, sent us. So thank you, Baxy24. So we thought this was funny because we all had little crushes on Deacon last week.
We're
so
obsessed.
she found this funny video for us showing some of Deacon's moves that we're really hoping we get to see this season on
I'm
Nashville.
I want to see him shake it. Oh, look.
47.
He looks good for 47.
Whose line is it anyway?
There we go.
To be with you is my favorite thing. Yeah.
I like it.
Can't wait till I see you again. Yeah, yeah.
Who knew he could move like that?
I wanna put on
Who knew he was funny? He reminds me of Jim Carrey.
A little bit, the haircut.
I wanna put on
He was so funny.
my boogie shoes.
Yeah, he's like a comedian first.
Love him. Even more now. Love
I
him.
wanna do till the sun comes out.
Is he married?
Yes. Okay, that's probably
that's
good.
good.
for-
Isn't that
yeah.
funny? The comedian, now he's in a drama. Like,
That's-
he's great.
Yeah, I agree. Like when you said this makes you love him more. When I saw that, I was like, oh, now the crush just got huger because
I
he's
know.
funny, he can dance, make a fool of himself.
Hey,
That's great.
Comedy is the hardest, in my opinion, coming from the actor's background, is the hardest thing to nail. If you can do comedy, you can do anything. So clearly,
He
going
can.
to a drama, I mean, it's not, for me personally and other actors that I know, it's not a big leap to go. You know, if you're a dramatic actor and you need to go into comedy, it's a lot harder to do that. But I don't know. I
he's
think
great.
he did remind me a little of Jim Carrey with those moves. Like he's so tall and like he just kind of moves like Ace Ventura-ish to me. I don't
And
know.
his
He's
facial
funny.
expressions
Yeah.
are hysterical.
Super cute.
And you did ask if he was married, and I did read yes, he is married with I believe 2 kids.
Rude.
But we can still
Lame.
campaign to get him to come join us some night on the couch
Yeah.
over
Just
here.
look at
So by
him.
the end of the season, yeah. All right, guys, let's go with predictions for next week.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I don't know. I've got a lot, I feel like. They're small.
I think that Deacon is in the next episode going to decide not to go on tour with Rayna. I think he's gonna think it's gonna be too hard. Now that he sees that she's like falling, he can see the love in her eyes on stage and then in the car after. I think he's gonna be a little bit hesitant because she's gonna be hesitant too about rekindling that and having to fight that off. So I think they're going to make a decision, and I don't know if it's going to be permanent, but in that episode, I predict they're going to make a decision to not go on tour.
I agree
Maybe
with
someone
that.
will talk them out of it. Maybe their friend Waddy will talk them out of it, but I feel like that decision is going to happen.
I agree with that.
Interesting.
I also think that it's going to be strange because what's she going to do then?
Yeah.
Open for Juliette and go on tour with the 3 of them?
Yeah, but she has to make that choice. Like she's going to leave her whole family behind and
Right.
go on tour and fall in love with him again.
Right. And she did say to her dad, why are you trying to get me to quit my career so badly?
Ruin her career.
She's scared.
She is scared.
I think Lamar, this whole campaign thing, I think Coleman's going to end up giving Teddy a run for his money because I think people are going to start finding out that Lamar is kind of behind it all and being a mean, manipulative man.
I think Teddy's going to crash and burn.
That was going to be my prediction. That I think Teddy's going to become. We all like him now. We always think he's, decent, okay guy. Yeah.
He's like, whatever.
Yeah, I think some real ugliness is going to come out of him.
I agree.
In the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. And we'll see what happens with Scarlett and Gunnar.
That's what I was going to say. I can't wait. They're going to, it's going to happen.
Something's going to happen, for sure.
Lots of good stuff coming up. All right, guys, so where can everybody find you at?
You can find me at Lauren Leonelli on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and my website.
Woohoo! I'm at Whitney Lane 1118, and my website is whitney-lane.com.
And you can find me at Jen the Jew on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook's Jenifer Golden, and my website, jenifergolden.com.
And I'm at JJ Jurgens on Twitter, and Facebook, and also at jjjurgens.com. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you next week. Yay!
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.